I can't remember a time when I wasn't trying to help heal someone or something. As a little girl on my family's dairy farm, I made it my mission to help my father with the care of the animals. Such was my dedication that when I found a baby bird that fell out of its nest, I took great pains to nurse it to health and see that it was able to care for itself before I set it free. Originally, I was determined to heal others the old-fashioned way, with herbs and energy work. I'd read plenty of how-to books on the subject and even taken a few online courses. When I left the farm as soon as I graduated high school and moved to find my way in the nearby city of Winchester, Virginia, I even went as far as to open my own holistic practice. It was when I attended a 6-week course through the local college's community education program on herbal remedies that I decided that it was okay to integrate herbal and energy healing with modern medicine. I really didn't need the course. I'd poured myself into that world for so many years that there was very little in the line of herbal remedies or Reiki energy work left for me to learn. I just enjoyed taking the classes and mixing with like-minded people. Got a kick out of exchanging herbal remedy recipes and Reiki sessions. Dr. Peter Thomason was the instructor of this class. I didn't know for sure, but I guessed him to be in his early 30s. He was not only full of excitement for life, but I found him incredibly handsome and charismatic. It was more than his looks, which in themselves were enough to mesmerize any healthy red-blooded female. I couldn't imagine anyone being able to resist his royal blue eyes that were made to look even bluer by the thick black lashes that framed them, and his sun-bronzed skin as a background. He had a full head of shoulder-length hair that was almost ebony black with hints of sunlight running through it. They were more prominent in the out-of-doors than under the fluorescent lights of the classroom. He wore his generous head of hair pulled back in an old-fashioned queue for most of the classes, but there were a few times when he simply let it fall wildly about. When it did, it framed his high cheekbones and square jaw in such a way as to make me wish it was my arms wrapped so possessively around such beauty instead of that hair. I would sit in the back of the room and revel in the sight of the lean, muscular physique that I was sure existed beneath his baggy linen shirt and pants. On the few occasions when I was near enough, the pheromones he emitted practically drove me to the point that I needed to either leave the room or jump his bones, which was saying a lot because I was still a virgin. Since we were in a classroom with other students, and even if we were alone, I was too inexperienced to know how to lure him into taking me right there on the desk. I opted to leave the room. I'd visit the ladies' room for a splash of cool water on my face and a good one-on-one scolding between me and my reflection in the mirror. He'd recently arrived from a tour of Doctors Without Borders in Africa, which was where he got that memorable tan. More than once, he'd share a tale or two of what it was like for him to treat those in need with both herbs and modern medicine. It was through his stories that I concluded that both had their place and both had their value. It soon became clear to me that by combining the two, I'd be able to heal a lot more efficiently and effectively. By the time the 6-week course was over, I was looking at colleges to attend for my medical degree. Sadly, Dr. Thomason was scheduled to go on yet another tour with Doctors Without Borders shortly after the course ended, but I managed to convince him to have coffee with me to discuss my plans to go to medical school before we said our goodbyes. Admittedly, I would have preferred our conversation between the sheets after a ridiculously long marathon of lovemaking instead of at a Starbucks while drinking a latte and eating a cheese Danish. But no matter. The meeting with the oh-so-handsome Dr. Peter Thomason, die-hard Good Samaritan, was so intense and profound that it solidified my determination to become a medical doctor. That was 12 years ago. With my residency behind me and a medical license finally in my grasp, life became a whirlwind of busy and full. But there were still times when I had a few moments of quiet to reflect on things. That a vision of the handsome Dr. Peter Thomason popped into my mind, and I wondered what good deeds he was doing and what third world he was doing them in. As for what was happening with me in my world, I'd accepted a position as the town physician in a small community called Wolf Junction in the hills of West Virginia, not far from Mechanicsville.